Welcome, listeners, to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and Corey.
Hello, everybody.
It's so lovely to be here with you on this beautiful evening. And, you know, earlier today, I had no notion of what I was going to talk about, but now I do. And you've got it right, Brian. It's the Lions Gate portal.
And that doesn't mean the one going over to North Vancouver.
No, so we're going to talk about that. But first of all, I should introduce the show and say, this is Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie, and that this is a talk show about metaphysics and spirituality. We broadcast on 101.7 FM across the Fraser Valley. And also you can catch us on all the major podcasting platforms and on my website, drlesliephillips.com. And if you would like to participate live when we pre-record the show, we'd love you to do that. And you can do that by following my Facebook group, which is called Awaken Your Psychic Abilities, and also by following my YouTube channel. And I'm supposed to say that the radio station we're on is 101.7 FM across the Fraser Valley from the unceded territory of the Stolo Nation. All right, I think I've got all those bits done now. The things I have to say every week. And so let's get on with the show. And like I said,
on with the show.
Yeah, on with let the show go on. I had no idea what I was going to talk about today. I thought it was just going to show up. But an hour ago, I said, you know what? It is the Lions Gate portal this very day. And it made me think about some energetic themes that have been coming up within my work over the last week or so. And I've got this great new card deck that I'm really enjoying. And I pulled a few cards before the show started just to get us in the theme. And I was kind of blown away by the cards that I pulled. So I'm going to weave all of this together. So first of all, I'm just going to read sort of 3 paragraphs, which gives an explanation of what the Lions Gate portal is. And I got this by listening to a lady on a website called foreverconsciousness.com. So these are kind of her words noted down. So this week we celebrate the Lions Gate portal. The portal activates on the 8th of August and it tracks the rising of the star Sirius. Sirius has been revered across many ancient cultures and it is believed to be our spiritual sun. At this time of year, it rises back into our sky after a period of being invisible. At the start of July, we had the Sirius Gateway, and this was when the Sun and Sirius came together in alignment. And that alignment was active for the first week of July. And when that alignment is on, you can't actually see Sirius anymore because it is what the ancients called the sun behind the sun. But now Sirius is starting to separate itself again from the sun, and we're able to start to see it again in the sky. And this was, like she says, this was considered a sacred time by ancient cultures. And as Sirius is a spiritual sun, the movement of Sirius back into our sky signifies its rebirth, and therefore the rebirth of our own spiritual energy. And that's why the energy around the Lions Gate portal, and it's called Lions Gate because we're in the middle of Leo, the astrological sign of Leo. The energy portal is very concentrated and it represents the rebirth of our own spirit energy. The refueling, the recharging, the reactivating of our own inner flame. Happening in the middle of the Leo season. Leo is a heart-centered sign that represents the inner light that lives within. We get this beautiful rising up of our spirit energy, and it's a really powerful time to align with our truth and our authenticity, and to reactivate our inner flame and the truth of who we are. And so I think this is a wonderful energy for us to meditate on in part 2 of the show, and then we'll have our usual discussion and comments in part 3 of the show. So Lionsgate, it's on the 8th of the 8th, right? So numerologically, that's chosen because it's just really cool numerologically, because the actual, I think the actual thing starts, I've got it somewhere in my notes, but it's not just on this one day. Obviously, it's coming into this and before and after. And it's really interesting. Yeah, July the 28th to August the 12th, peaking on August the 8th. And it's when the sun is in Leo and the Earth, Orion's belt, and the star Sirius are lined up. So you've got the Earth, the sun, and the sun behind the sun lined up, and it's like this opening of a galactic gate, and it's a very, 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 very powerful energy, apparently. So we're going to meditate on that, and we're going to have in the meditation a direct experience of connecting with that Sirius energy, and then we can see what it's like for ourselves, right? Because there's nothing that beats a direct experience of these things. But then I was thinking about it, and, you know, it's been a really, really interesting week, or 10 days, the last 10 days energetically, I found in my practice. And I want to talk about 2 themes that have been showing up. The first theme is this idea of the old life crumbling and the new life emerging. And I hadn't realized, but when I think about what's happening, this is like that Sirian energy coming full circle, isn't it? It is representing kind of like a new year, a new life rising. And so I have spoken to many people over the last week, at least 5, where that was the theme, that old life is crumbling. And in a very, very significant way. Like for some people, like everything is just crumbling. Everything is that was in their life is going away, and some unknown thing, hopefully, is coming in to replace it. And so I was talking about this to a peer group of mine, and we meditated on it a little bit. And I'm going to share a couple of things that came up in that meditation, because we decided, well, because this seems to be happening to so many people, it must be a world energy. It must be a global energy. It must be a galactic energy. So let's look at that. Not even thinking or knowing that it was the Lionsgate portal, actually. We just said, well, wow, it must be a big world sort of thing. So we meditated on the planet, and this is what I was seeing, was that, you know, when a rocket is taking off and the nose cone gets really hot and it's traveling really, really fast, like the nose cone's really bright, and it's sort of like this feeling of traversing into a new reality. So that, to me, the planet looked a bit like that. And then after seeing that vision, what I saw was kind of like a grid, like a mathematical grid, with the mathematical formulae all written around this grid, and the planet sitting in the center of this grid. And then instead of it just, and it's sort of like a blanket, you know, if you lift the blanket up, then it'll move in a certain direction. So there was this idea of the Earth having a certain direction in this horizontal grid work, where the formula underpinning the reality. But then what happened was the mathematical formula completely changed, and there was like a 90-degree angle of the Earth going in this direction in this reality, and then boom, the mathematical formulae changed, the fabric underpinning reality changed, and now instead of going in the horizontal direction, it was now going upward in a vertical direction with new mathematical formulae, different mathematical formulae. And then a friend of mine had a similar vision, the idea of going along in a canoe and then a big, huge wave coming like a wall, and the canoe moving from going horizontal to going vertical, and then the waves rolling over the canoe. So we got these different visuals that sort of describe the energy. And chatting with some people about this, we felt it's a shift in the course of the universe, a shift in what's going on for us in our reality. So it's like the formula is like vibrational it's an indication of a vibrational shift. It's an indication of a new pathway, the ending of an old pathway, the crumbling of an old reality, and the emerging of a new pathway. So we talk about this often, don't we, as the old earth and the new earth, 3D reality versus 5D reality, whatever label you care to put on it. There's been a significant shift, I think, over the last week or so. So we are taking a sharp right turn, and everything is changing. Everything is shifting. Everything is different. And I'm interested, having said that, how many people who are live tonight have been feeling something similar over about the last week to 10 days, where, and it's this feeling of, you know, the old life isn't really existing in the same way, and something new is coming, but it's something completely unknown. We don't know what it is yet. So the third thing for this segment, before we go to the break and then have our meditation, I recently got this really cool card deck by Lisa Royale, and it's called Galactic Heritage Cards. And just for fun, while I was waiting to start the show, I shuffled and 2 cards jumped out of the deck. And would you believe it, that the first one is this card here, Sirius coming full circle. If there's a card in the deck that relates to the Lionsgate portal, that's it. So that's pretty amazing. Coming full circle. Sirius. I might just briefly read what it says about this, because I think it's relevant to what we've been talking about. Let me find the page. Oh, definitely it is, especially when we're doing the meditation. So remember this. In the ancient days, the Syrians placed codes within our DNA to help us evolve when the time was right. That time is now. Humankind is awakening as the Syrians had hoped. Their task has come full circle. If you pull this card, you have a connection to the ancient Syrian past. And because of humanity's awakening, you've recently completed a karmic pattern held for thousands of years. The old earth is crumbling. You may feel subtle energies of completion. You may feel nothing at all, or maybe you feel something more powerful, which is what I've been noticing. And so, you know, if you have, it's like, it's not necessary to hold on to these old patterns anymore. It's come full circle. We can let them go. So that was the first card. Another card dropped out of the deck, and it was this one, self-observance. That's connected to the future version of the Lyran civilization, but I'll read what that one said as well. After much struggle as a species, the Lyrans eventually healed themselves by honestly and objectively observing themselves. At first, this can be a difficult task, but in the end, it leads to a powerful transformation as long as it's done without judgment. The power of self-observation is essential for any species who seeks transformation. Begin this process now. See your habits and patterns without the need to fix them. It's an alchemical process that produces spiritual evolution on a very profound level. So again, it's talking about the same transformation. I then decided I would do another card, and one came out of the deck, and I didn't like it, and I put it back, and then I shuffled again, and I got the next card. So these two are relating to Earth, and they are, one of them says conservative attachments, that's what we're letting go of. And one of them says progressive desires, that's the energy that we're moving into. So both of these cards relate to the evolution of the species on planet Earth. You couldn't make it up. You know, these cards are so relevant. So the Earth card that is representing the letting go, when it's time of transformation, it's natural to fear change. There's an illusionary feeling of safety in the familiar, even if the familiar is dysfunctional and it no longer serves you. Take a look at your life now. What are you clinging to that is old and familiar? It's time for an inventory. When you clean out the old, you make space for the new. The karmic pattern of fearing change is one that must be healed at this time. When you resist change, it's often forced upon you, and you can circumvent this by taking steps towards change. And then the other card, during a time of transformation, it's common to feel excitement and a desire to make sweeping change very quickly. Because there are people who fear change, it's prudent to make change that's slow and steady instead of rushing things. In this way, those who cling to the old will not get spooked. So we're kind of on this planet together, aren't we, with people at different stages of evolvement of their consciousness. But again, it's sort of saying, take a look at your life, see where you are. You know, change is happening. So very interesting. So with that, I think we'll go for a break. And when we come back, we'll do a meditation to channel and connect with the energy of Sirius and take advantage of the Lionsgate portal. We will be back after these messages. Welcome back, everyone, to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie, broadcasting on 888, the Lionsgate portal. No, it's not 888, is it? It's 88. We'll finish at 888.
Not 888. Yeah, that's true. Officially, that's true.
Yeah, well, I would like to do a sort of collective meditation, tuning into the energies of the star Sirius, which is emerging as the sun behind the sun. It's been hiding behind our sun, and now it's separating itself from our sun, and its energy is becoming more visible to us again. So I will just invite you to close your eyes, turn within, and relax. And take a deep breath in. And take a deep breath out. And take a deep breath in. And out. And take a moment to get grounded. So be aware of your first chakra and create an energy flow from your first chakra to the very center of the earth. And you're going to be channeling and connecting to very, very high energy frequency. So make sure that you are really grounded, really anchored into the planet. And focus your conscious awareness in the center of your head. Actually, you know, put parts of your consciousness in your crown chakra as well. And then I'm just going to invite you to envision the idea of the star Sirius. The energy of the star Sirius is often likened to a blue vibration, a blue ray of energy. So be aware of the star Sirius and be aware of its energetic ray or energetic frequencies of light that are broadcasting from that great sun behind the sun and beaming at us here on planet Earth, sending us information and energy. And so imagine that Sirius is positioned above you and that Sirian energy is flowing through a column of light or a beam of energy, a ray of light from that star and coming all the way to you here on Earth into your crown chakra. And actually, if you sit in your crown chakra, you can sit with that Sirian energy. So I'll just invite you to do that and allow yourself to be receptive to receive the energy, to receive a transformation, an energy shift. And as you do this, notice, just like the cards we were reading before were saying, are you in resistance to change? Is there any part of you that's not allowing this shift? So if you notice any resistance within your space to fully surrendering and opening to the energy of this star, then simply send that down your grounding so that you can fully benefit from this transformational energy. So let go of your resistance. Be in a state of surrender. Be in a state of allowing. So first of all, we're just going to sit with that energy in our crown. And you might receive a message, or you might just feel and sense the energy. Either way is fine. You might even notice light codes coming through that beam of light, being transmitted for you. And then I'm going to invite you to allow that energy to come in all the way through. So allow that column of light, that beam of light to flow down through the center of your being, through all your chakras, and actually continuing on down your grounding cord, so that you're helping to anchor that shift on Earth for other people to benefit. And so that you are fully lining up with it within yourself and within all of your chakra system. And I invite you to remain seating in your crown chakra, which is the seat of your knowingness, and ask for some information. Ask for some information about the current energies of the Lionsgate portal, the current energies of the new pathway for humanity, and about your personal growth cycle. What's crumbling for you? How are you participating in this shift? Ask for information to help you to better understand what's going on for you. And I'll just say that the Sirian energy, there are different consciousnesses that exist around that star system. Many highly evolved light beings. Also, there is kind of cetacean energy. And initially, when I was tuning in, I was feeling a transmission that was coming in as binary code, but now it's shifted into very much a cetacean kind of energy. And it feels very soothing, very calming, very healing. Energy transmission from the cetacean consciousness of Sirius, with the objective to help smooth the waters, help us stay calm in the storm of this huge shift that we are undertaking. So they're sending a very smoothing energy. And I'm also seeing that the cetaceans on our planet are receivers of that and transmitters of that through the waters of the earth to everywhere on the planet. So there's this huge transmission actually happening that's coming. I think there's multiple levels of it, but one level is that cetacean energy connecting with their brother and sister cetaceans on Earth and sharing it throughout the globe, through the waters of the planet, to help us stay calm. And what they're showing me is, you know, all of the events that are happening on Earth. I think there's some countries, Canada definitely, where there's lots of forest fires right now. They're showing me the forest fires. They're showing me, you know, the idea of this very fiery energy burning through the old and helping us rebirth this new earth, and how, you know, that can be frightening for the human body, but that humanity is protected and we can receive these very soothing frequencies from them, and it will help us to stay calm. I'm going to tune into I call them the Syrian Council of Light, which I communicate with a lot, and I have a healing guide that is resonant with that energy. So let's just see what we get from that. Of course, they're always helping us. They've been there for aeons of time, assisting our planet. And let's see what that transmission is going to say to us. They're showing me a slide carousel, and it's a reference or a symbol of our old concepts of reality, concepts of life, who we are, what we're doing here, how to live our lives. And it's old technology. It doesn't belong anymore. It's an old way of doing things. It's an old way of seeing things. We've done it to death. And so they're showing the idea of replacing that with a more advanced, something much more advanced and more evolved. And of course, they help us with technological advances. They help us with DNA upgrades, various things that they help us with. But it's like, let go of the old frame of reference, take off the old spectacles, the old glasses that you've been seeing the world through. It doesn't work anymore. And because the energy is so high now, when we look through the old spectacles, we see through the eyes of pain, right? So it's just becoming harder and harder for us to live life from the old paradigm. It's like trying to hide in an old mechanism that its flaws show up in the light really powerfully and really strongly. So it just doesn't work anymore. And then there's a transmission coming in a kind of pink vibration, actually, which feels just love. We love you. You're part of our family. We love you. And we embrace you in our light. And there is hope for you. Always. So allow yourself to open to receive that help, to receive the love, to receive the calming energies, to receive whatever information is most relevant for you. And if your life is changing in a way that scares you, ask for their help. Change is positive. It's evolutionary. It's expensive. We are stepping up in vibration. So they're reaching out a helping hand. Just grab the hand and allow it to pull you up to the next rung of the ladder. There's a song playing. Love is all around you. I feel it in my fingers. I feel it in my toes. So allow yourself to absorb that love on a cellular level. And know that you are protected. Know that you are loved. Know that you are safe. It is safe for you to shift. And feel yourself letting go of what is already crumbling and which you can't prevent from crumbling. So just allow it to crumble. Allow it to go. Release it now. And as it releases down your grounding, open to receive the new earth, the new frequencies, the new program, the new reality program. And trust your own higher being. This is unknown territory for us. We've never been here before. We don't know what the future has in store, but your higher being has it mapped out for you. You can't control it, but you can be the receiver of guidance about it. You can keep that gateway open within yourself of that transmission, that beam of light that's coming from Sirius to Earth. You don't have to close it down unless you want to. But you can just allow that column of light to continue flowing through you, to you, and through you. So I will invite you to open your eyes and we'll complete that meditation. Of course, you can go back into it in your own time. You can connect with those energies again if you want to. I'd be interested if people type in the comments what was your experience? What did you notice about the energy of the Lionsgate portal and the energy from Sirius? What did you pick up on? Very clear, beautiful energy. And I loved the intermingling of the different aspects of the cetacean energy and the energy of the higher consciousness, light being, collective energy. So what do you think, Corey? Do you think we should have a break and come back to chat, or?
Yeah, we have some of the
Yeah, oh, that's good.
comments that you were asking for earlier.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Not many, but enough to.
Yeah, enough to.
Okay. Okay, so Brian says, you aren't kidding, Dr. Leslie. If I try doing anything that's out of alignment, old routines, habits, etc., I can't push myself to do it. There's no energy. It's kind of like apathy. Yet if it's intuitive or spiritually guided, it's effortless. That's been going on for me for some times. Yes, like realities, it says then the comment on your thing, just it's like realities being rewritten.
Yeah.
And then Amber says, coming from different directions, Mother Earth and all elements, especially in the sun right now. And then Brian says, it feels like making connections, connecting with people, groups, and plants and animals seem to be of primary importance. Katie says, all of this totally resonates with me. Thank you for sharing. Brian's got another one here. Let's see what this one says. Brian says, that's what I got, this new world. We're already in it, operates by different rules, and that old rules don't apply and will no longer work.
Thank you, Brian. And you know, I remembered another thing that I was going to add about my week. I have had an unusually high number of people who want to lose weight. Again, about 5 people who want to, the thing has been about losing weight. And I think that goes along with the theme of dropping off the old sludge, you know, dropping off the old stuff that we're carrying around so that we can, you know, be, can't think of the word, but you know, you feel better if you drop off all that excess weight. And I think that that's not unrelated, that people are saying, oh, I need to slough off this old stuff. It's showing up on a physical level for people as well.
Okay, we need to go to a break, Dr. Leslie.
Thank you. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back, everybody, to the final segment of Unlocking Your Truth this evening on the 8th of August, the Lionsgate portal, where we've been talking about the energy of, well, we've been in that window of the Lionsgate portal, which seems extremely powerful and world-shaking. People's worlds and lives are being shaken up. I've had so many stories of people who are like, this is ending, that's ending, you know, whether it's jobs, businesses, relationships, where they live, even down to what even country they live in, not let alone what house they live in, that there's this shaking up going on because there's this sharp 90-degree turn in energy that our reality is being rewritten. And the other thing I noticed, and other people said as well this week, was I remember somebody said to me, I feel like my energy is sideways. Like I feel like I'm lying down even though I'm standing up. And yesterday I had this, I felt like I was at an angle, and I was like normally standing or sitting, But all day I was trying to make my energy line up because it felt diagonal. So there's been some funny experiences like that as well as we are adjusting to this energy shift. So folks, you can ask your questions.
Yeah. Denise said, I felt blocked with the meditation.
Okay. Yeah, I can take a look at that. And it's funny, you know, when I first opened up to doing it, I did too. I felt, that's why I said, oh, and if you feel resistance, release it down your grounding, because I noticed with myself, I was trying to bring this energy in and there was some energy around my crown that wasn't letting it in. So I had to let it go. So, and I think that that's just, you know, sometimes we resist change. It frightens us, so we get into resistance, and sometimes we're stuck in our old ways. And so I think that it's really just that, Denise, but let's have a look. Well, I don't see that you failed completely to receive that energy. I mean, it looks like some of it did did get through, especially the calming blue energy. It feels like there's a challenge for you in letting go of a kind of old world view about what is, in a way, it's like what's right and what's wrong and who's right and who's wrong. And it's sort of like a world view of, well, we're the good ones because we believe X, Y, Z, you know, and they are out of alignment because they believe A, B, C. But meanwhile, what we're shifting into is acceptance of everyone and allowing everyone to have their unique perspective and not being polarized at all. So it looks like it hit these concepts embedded, especially around the head and the crown, that are, you probably don't see them as judgments within yourself, but they are a kind of judgment. Because we can kind of fool ourselves and say, well, I'm very spiritual and I don't know, I'll make some things up. I'm not reading you now, I'm a vegan, I don't eat animals, because those people who do eat animals, that's wrong. Or I don't use the conventional healthcare system because I don't believe in big pharma, and that those who do, and that's wrong, and so it looks like in order to welcome in the new earth, you have to open up and say, all beliefs are valid. I get to choose mine. They get to choose theirs. We get, and so long as we're choosing what's authentic for us, we get to live together in harmony. So I'm seeing that was what the block to receiving in the meditation was for you.
Okay. Brian says, that's what I got, this new world. We're already in it. It operates by different rules, and that the old rules don't apply and will no longer work. I don't know if I read that one out already.
I think you did. That's good
Yeah,
to remind us all.
Okay. And top it here. And Amber asks a question. Can you elaborate on the cessation energy, oceanic energy? I had a pilot whale channeling with a group today. Very curious. I don't know if that's something you can.
Cetacean, CETACEAN, and it's our classification of whales and dolphins and those types of beings. Now, we tend to think, oh, well, we're the only evolved species on this planet. But it's not true. And so the whales and the dolphins are very aware, evolved species. And so I'm not exactly sure how you'd like me to elaborate on it, but the idea is that there are species of cetaceans that exist in other planetary systems, including Sirius, and that what I was picking up on in the meditation was that that's a part of the transmission of information that's coming to us from Sirius, and that there is we could call it a genetic connection between the cetaceans there and here that enables, actually it's coming out very heart-centered receptivity, and that our cetaceans are helping, obviously, in this evolution of consciousness on this planet by transmitting these loving, calming, accepting energies throughout the world. And if you think about the work of Masaru Emoto, the hidden messages in water, and how water can be programmed energetically to carry certain frequencies, it felt like this is what our cetaceans are doing for us. They're helping program the waters of the earth with love. I hope that helps. You can be more specific in the way you ask me, and I might be able to give more specific information.
Which you're good at. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Brian says, Dr. Leslie, I've been having these bizarre dreams after only sleeping for a few minutes, mostly in the morning. I'll look at the clock and then be somewhat aware of my surroundings, yet I'm also dreaming. I can recall the dream, doesn't feel like out of body, but usually science says it takes about 90 minutes to start dreaming. I've had the ability for some time. I'm wondering if you could tell me what's going on there. It's really fascinating because it does seem outside the rules in science realm. When I look at the clock, it says it's only 10 to 15 minutes after I passed, and I'm very aware of it. Oh, that's the second comment. So
Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned that, Brian, because the second theme that I might have talked about tonight was dreams, because that's the other thing that I've noticed this week is very vivid and interesting dreams. Well, the first thing is it just feels like you're opening up to your multidimensionality. And yes, there's a scientific thing that talks about REM cycles and the sleep cycle and all of that. But, you know, when we're asleep, in the past, those dreams have been our experience of entering into multidimensionality. We've not, most of us, done it while we're awake, but we're starting to be able to access our multidimensional consciousness from the waking state, which dolphins do, by the way. Half of their brain sleeps at a time. Our whole brain sleeps, right? But half of their brain sleeps and then it switches to the other half. So they're always aware of both the physical and non-physical. So it sounds like it's an expansion into multi-dimensionality, where you are experiencing multiple realities simultaneously. Because, you know, people say, oh, well, it's just a dream, it's just your imagination. That's another reality. It's, you know, what you experience in your dreams is real. It's another reality that's taking place in a non-physical plane, but it's still real. So I think that's what's happening there with you. And I'll see. And also, of course, that experience of, I mean, time. What is time? There's no time in non-physical reality. You can live 1,000 years in a second. So absolutely. So that makes sense to me, that time doesn't have to have passed to have collected this package of a lot of information that you're then aware of in your consciousness. Okie dokie.
yeah, she just adds something to that. She says There was a group of pilot whales that beached themselves in the UK recently. They were channeled today. So there were so many unanswered questions. Okay.
That's Amber with her
Yeah, just
thing
a
about doing a
secondary
meditation with
comment.
the
Yeah.
pilot whales earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Amber says, all beliefs are valid is a message I needed to hear. Thank you. This is from Angerini. Oh, and Brian says, wow, that's incredible. Thanks so much for looking. And this is from Angerini. Could you please check if I'm connecting and receiving the energy? I feel needed guidance badly.
Okay, it's similar but not exactly the same as Denise. So yes, I do see that you are, but I'm seeing that what's happening, somehow you're translating it in a certain way within your system. And it reminds me of, you know, if you look at a beam of light that hits the water, that beam of light's going straight, and then it hits the water, and then it starts to look like it's going diagonally because the water refracts the light. So it feels like something similar is happening within your system, that the energy is coming in, but it's getting refracted by something within your system. And what I'm seeing is it's basically the vibration of extreme invalidation, which is causing you to doubt it. But that invalidation is part of this, what's up for crumbling and releasing. So I'm seeing that. So we want to encourage you, just let go of the invalidation. But then what I see as well is it's like the blue coming in turns into a different blue when it comes into your system. A different frequency of blue, and I'm trying to see what's the mix. It's coming in one vibration and then you're shifting it into another vibration. So I'm just trying to see what that is. But in some senses, everybody's going to receive it differently and in their own unique way. And everyone's going to sort of transmit it in their own unique way. So that's part of it. There's something to do with sort of self-concept, your concept of self, your concept of who you believe you are, and letting go of some old ideas about who you believe you are so that you can become more of who you are. And the symbol for that is one of those playing card people from the Alice in Wonderland. It's like you've been told you're the, I don't know, 8 of Hearts or something. And, you know, that's not really who you are, but you've been playing that role because you've been told so often, well, this is who you are, this is who you are, this is who you are. So I'm seeing it is getting through.
Oops.
And you're just thinking it's not, because what it's touching is invalidation, and then that's making you doubt it. Next.
Well, that's it, Dr. Leslie.
Oh, okay.
There's no next.
There's no next.
There's no next.
Well, thank you for participating. Shall I pull one more of these cards just to finish off?
Yes, if you do it quickly.
I'll just ask for something that's got a message for the listeners of the show tonight. Ooh, galactic core, the pulse of light. Galactic core, the pulse of light. Well, isn't that beautiful? So that to me is talking about the center of the Milky Way. which is a star in the Pleiades called Halcyon. I often channel information from that place. It's beautiful. I'll tell you what it says here. Like a great galactic clock, the galaxy's core calibrates the rhythm of the evolution of consciousness. Through its wave emissions, ancient civilizations such as the Maya were fully connected to it and were able to plot a galactic calendar using this wisdom. All life, including you, can feel this pulse from the core. Look out into the night sky and connect with the dark spot in the Milky Way. Let yourself breathe in this energy, resetting you to the natural pulse of the universe. You cannot rush evolution. This card is a card of trust. Let go and allow the universe to work through you. Well, it's
Wonderful.
That's like the sun behind the sun behind the sun. That's like big picture, central core energy of our galaxy.
And now it's time to go. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.